Welcome back. We're starting out hot today over on the ice with our hockey team, who is 2 wins away from another national title. The Broncos are on a roll after the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, taking down Grand Valley State and Purdue Northwest to reach the semifinals. The Broncos are in the Frozen Four and set to take on Western Conference rival and 5th-seeded University of Nevada, Las Vegas. The last meeting between these 2 teams saw a split in the doubleheader. If the Broncos win tonight, they will play the winner of 8th-seeded Ohio and 2nd-seeded Adrian College. Puck drop is set for 8 p.m. tonight in St. Louis. Now back to Edmonds. Softball opened up conference play over the weekend with 2 doubleheaders. The Broncos scored early and often in the first game of the weekend against Washburn, outscoring them 4-1 after 2 innings, and put the cherry on top with another 2 in the 6th to get the first win, 6-2. Game 2 saw the Ichabods draw first blood, getting a run in the 2nd, and they stayed on top till the bottom of the 5th, where Broncos found 2 and scraped by Washburn 2-1, taking the series win in the process. Now to Sunday's doubleheader against Emporia State. The Lady Broncos started things hot on the cool day, scoring 2 through the first 2 innings and set the tone against the Lady Hornets. While scoreless 3rd and 4th inning paved way for a Jackets error, and Taryn Ritt's bomb got 2 more on the board to ice the Hornets in the first game 6-0. The next game saw the Hornets and Broncos tied at 1 apiece headed to the bottom of the 2nd, and the Lady Broncos took it a bit personally. They put up not 1 run, not 2 runs, but 5 in the 2nd to put themselves far ahead of the Lady Hornets. They said it wasn't enough and put up another 4 in the 3rd to take the 10-1 win over Emporia State, sweeping their conference opponents and moving their win streak to 9. The Broncos are still ranked 12th headed into next week and are tied for 3rd place in the MIAA with Missouri Western. Now over in the other dugout, baseball was on the road for another conference series, this time right up I-35 in Wichita. The Broncos came off a 1-6 loss to Oklahoma Baptist, and they took it a little hard, and that would probably be a little bit of an understatement. They put up an astounding 9 runs in the first inning against the Jets, putting the game out of reach really early on. They weren't done yet. 1 run in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 4 more in the 6th gave the run rule to the Broncos 16-1. Game 2 was a lot slower with the Broncos scoring first blood in the 4th inning, getting 2 across home plate. It was enough to put Newman away, and they get the win 2-1 to complete Saturday's doubleheader. Game 3 saw a tight affair early on, with Newman scoring first and Central Oklahoma getting 2 in the top of the 3rd. A scoreless 4th inning gave Newman the upper hand as they put up 1 in the 5th and 6 to go up 2, but it was all Broncos from there as they got 2 of their own in the 7th and 1 more in the 8th to get by the Jets 5-3 and take the series sweep. The conference wins moved the Broncos to 18-5 on the season, headed into a midweek game against Northeastern State this Tuesday at home. The Riverhawks are 10-13 as they come into Edmond and are on a 3-game losing streak. First pitch for this one is set for 5 p.m. tomorrow evening over at the Wendell Simmons Field. To the basketball court now. Our men's team was in Kansas City this weekend for the MIAA Conference Championships, and they got sent home early. It was a slow start for the Chos as they started out the tournament against Pittsburgh State. The Broncos were outscored by 11 in the first half. Second half pretty much stayed the same, where our Broncos were outscored once again en route to an 84-65 loss in the first round. Jaden Wells was held to an unusually low 23 points in the affair, followed by Danquez Dossie with 14. Bucket shooting was the story of the game. The Broncos shot 38.2% from the floor and 26.9% from behind the three-point line. Pitt State shot 57.7% from the field and 52.4% from deep. The Broncos finished the season 20-11, and the trend for the season was the Broncos struggling to close out the close games. 8 of those losses ended with a margin of less than 10 points. The Broncos just lost gas as the season went on. Overall, it wasn't a horrible season, and they show a lot of promise headed into next year. Now to the pros. The Thunder were back home last night after a West Coast road trip last week, and it's safe to say it was good to be back home. The Thunder were scoring early and very often against the Memphis Grizzlies, exposing holes in the defense and capitalized on a weaker deep defense. The Thunder were up 64-43 headed into the half and didn't let off the gas, pouring on another 38 in the 3rd and a game-low 22 in the 4th en route to a big 124-93 win over Memphis. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had an unusually low 23 points, followed close behind by Kaysen Wallace with 22. It was an all-around team effort by the Thunder with 13 total scores and 56 points off the bench. The Thunder Buddies are back at home tomorrow night against the Indiana Pacers. OKC is currently first in the West, 1 game ahead of the Nuggets with the end of the season just over a month away. Tip-off for this one is set for 7 p.m. tomorrow night at the Paycom Center. Janice, Emma, the Thunder are back on track now, but it's still a close race as we start to wind down. Think they can keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, I think every week I say I'm just hopeful for the Thunder and hope that they have a really good season.
Absolutely. They're good. They're a good young team. I saw the score from last night's game, and they killed it. So they'll just have to keep going.
Right. Just keep it going.
Yes. Thank you, Mark.